What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Don Illuminati, back with another video. Today I wanted to talk about freedom, right? What it means to actually be free, what it takes to be free, and the society that we live in today, right? So once upon a time, there was a community of people who took in another community of people, and they made them work. And instead of rewarding them with opportunity, they gave them bondage, which did not give them freedom. So they worked, but they didn't have freedom. We don't live in those type of times nowadays. You got to thank God for whatever community that you're in. Even if you're in America or if you're not, you still have the right to fend for yourself in this world. The freedom is going to come from your work, putting in work, staying consistent, doing things that you normally, normally wouldn't do, which is staying consistent to a plan, right? And working every day in it, working every day towards certain goals. We ought to understand that there's so many steps to reach certain goals, and the longer we take in initiating it and just getting it started, the longer it's going to take for us to complete the final mission. If you say you want success, you want peace, you want to feel free, right? You got to work for that. Other than that, you're pretty much in bondage. See what I'm saying? Think about a person who is homeless. You might say, oh, well, they're living rent-free and peace-free and this, that, and the third. Yeah, but they also can't do anything for themselves. Isn't that not the biggest part of it? They can't do anything for themselves? Is that not bondage? Is there something holding you back from being able to do what you need to do or want to do? Right? That's bondage. So if you're lazy, laziness will put you in bondage. Laziness is not going to give you a reward of freedom. Okay? So you're going to put yourself backwards. You're going to be going backwards by being stagnant, lazy, procrastinating, any of these things that keep you from being active at working towards your goals, right? It's bondage. And you're not going to see a life of freedom through that. So you can pray too all you want. And yes, God will supply your needs. But He's not going to sit there and allow you to just be lazy, because He already told you faith without works is dead. So He's going to supply your needs, but you still going to have to put in the work, or it's just going to be a dead situation for you. Therefore, you find yourself in a financial bond. You're in some type of bondage, which is not freedom. You can't really move the way you want to move. So when you claim that you want peace, you want all these other things, you got to work for them. And sometimes, like I was speaking to somebody earlier, I told them that people set the bar too high sometimes. When you pray to the Lord and you say, oh, I want this and I want that. Okay. You don't have to be careful with what you ask for from the Lord, but just know that if you're not careful with what He rewards you with, you can lose it if you're not maintaining it. So if you set the bar for something and the Lord gives you something up here, that means you're signing an invisible contract saying, well, I can do everything and it takes to maintain this. That means you're going to have to work for it. If you work for it and you got it, you're going to have to keep working to keep it. See what I'm saying? Because the moment you slack off, become stagnant, procrastinating, you can lose these things quickly. Because everything about this life is a cycle. Time, when your bills need to be paid. So anytime you're taking off, it's taken away from that cycle. It's taken away from your freedom. If you're not already financially set and you're trying to set yourself financially, the best thing you could do is utilize your time wisely, correctly. Stop BSing on all the things that you know what I'm saying, you normally do. Get out there and work in the craft. Work towards consistency, right? Be consistent at what you're doing. Because the more hours you put into that, I'm going to break this down for you. The more hours you put into that, the more it's going to replenish your life. The more you're going to get out of it, right? If you can only imagine, a lot of people work 40 hours a week, 40 to 60 hours a week, right? Okay. But if you can only imagine, if you were to start your own, even investment, your own business investment, whatever you want to do, right? On the side, if you took 5,000 cards, business cards, postcards, wherever you got to get them, right? 500 ain't going to be enough. You did 5,000 business cards, right? And you put time into that, putting them out there in 1 hour, which you would have gotten paid, let's say normally between $15 to $20 an hour, right? In 1 hour worth of putting cards out, you can have it set up to where 500 people can access that within 1 hour. You got 500 cards out there. How you set in several different gas stations, this, that, and the third, right? But imagine, even if you got one customer out of that, how much are you charging in business per hour? And it's somewhere between 130 to 100, maybe up there, right? Per hour, right? Particularly with what you're doing, you should be bringing home anywhere between $150 to $200 profit in an hour, right? If you're doing your own thing, bring it back to your company, right? So whatever it is that you're doing, you know the prices is up right now. So do what you want with that. But think about the hours that you take away from your time when you could have invested in anything else that you would have wanted to do. It's about being disciplined with your time and what you're going to do with it. Because the more you're not working towards building something, you're losing something. You're losing time. Time is money. We don't have all the time in the world to get it. When your limbs are still kicking all good and this, that, and the third, when are you going to get started towards something where you can start putting away for 20, 30 years so you can have something to where you ain't even moving and accessing certain things like that in life, right? When are you going to get started? That's the most important part. You have to find those things now, right? Because we use, I'm not talking to older folks right now. We're talking to people somewhere between the ages of 26 to 54 or something like that, right? But if you're in your 30s and your 40s, it's never too late to get started now. It's just understanding the discipline that you're going to have when it comes to your mission, seeking out for that success, wanting that peace, that freedom. And really, in this society that we live in, or pretty much any society that you live in order to have that freedom, you have to be financially capable, financially stable. Everything it's not all about money. We know that the Bible says, for the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of it. We're telling you how to be responsible with your time, because time can equal out to money in this world that we play, right? So it's what you putting your time into, right? You could say you worth whatever you worth per the hour because you could go ham in that hour. But instead, people become reliant, right? And they rely on the system, and they just go out there and they work for somebody else, and they give up all opportunities if they're able to be anything in his life, right? Because sometimes, if it ain't laziness that's overtaking these people and not causing you to get out here to do what you need to do so you can live free, it's fear. People have fear of success. They have fear of failure. So they don't go out and set missions to where they know that they can do it on their own, or will have to particularly survive on their own. If you got a mind like that you feel like you can't survive on your own, especially if you claim that you got the Most High look out for you. If he looked out for you once or twice, why don't you know what I'm saying? So your job, God gonna be God. He gonna do his job. He said he'd never leave you nor forsake you. That's his part. No matter what he allows you to go through. Your job is to stay on task. Your job is to utilize all of your time and your functions for the most part, especially if you're a man. You want to be a leader? You want to be a leader? You can't just be spending time with others, parlaying and kicking back and chilling, lollygagging. You got to be busy. Like I said on the last video, you got to be like, yo, I'm busy. And you don't want to be lying. You want to be busy. If you say like, oh, it's a nice day today, ain't no work really going on, so I'm just going to sit around. All right, sit around and what? You should sit around and think about your goals. You should sit around and think about your priorities, and then ask yourself, have you met them yet? Because if you didn't, get your ass on up. You still got work to put in. Maybe this ain't the work that's meant for you for today because you're not getting paid But it's time for you to put in time. You put in that money. It's an investment. Whatever you invest in your time in. It will come back. It will come back to you. Sometimes, depending on what you build, it may take more time than other things. So stick with it sometimes. But if it ain't going to work out for you, you'll know it because everything's going to play against you. That just means to move on to the next thing. See what I'm saying? But then you can't waste time at that either. You still got to stay progressing. Progress to the next opportunity, the next opening. Feel me? What you going to spend your time doing? How you going to spend your time thinking? Spending time around all these people and always being, feeling like you got to be connected with people or validated by people. You got to get away from that type of spirit. Or you got to be accepted by people. That's just keeping too many people in your life. Too many people that can suck up your time. Suck your prosperity dry at the end of the day. We don't have that much time to put into this life to build who we supposed to be at the end of the day. And we already see how the system works against us. So what is it we're going to do for ourselves? There's other things that we need to learn that don't just coexist with the way that money and the economy is spent in this community. We need to learn other different things as well that makes you a person of value, the people of value. See what I'm saying? If you're a person of value, you're going to make time for yourself to be able to think, because thinking is going to get you to what you need. You're going to come up across the epiphany, but you're going to have the blueprints and run over certain schematics, and that takes time as well. But if you ain't thinking about these things, because you're constantly tied up with people, and you constantly got people on your phone in your ear, and you're a scroller, and you just scrolling away your damn life, it give you no time to think about nothing besides how much can I laugh at other people being stupid and silly on the internet. You wasting time. You wasting your own prosperity. You throwing that shit in the trash, and you turn around and say, I'm going to be a person that's free. No, you don't, because you ain't staying on task. You lollygag too much for those people who say they want things, but they sit around and they only want the things that's beneficial, but they don't want to go out and put the work in to make themselves active enough to become a person to get those things done on a conservative schedule. Which means if you work for it, then you deserve to be able to go out and enjoy certain things. But people want those things first, and they think it's all about that. Everybody want to have fun, but nobody want to put in the work or what it's going to take to even pay for fun, because fun costs money. Nigga, fun always costs money. And the day that fun don't cost money, let me know, because I'm signing up. I'd rather just go out and have fun all day versus having to work. But that ain't how it plays out. You feel me? And it's very more important as a man, right? Especially in nowadays, project yourself as a hardworking individual, a person who stays on task. Not only do the children see you, but other men see you too, and they can learn from you. I've had people that was older than me. I had a guy walk up to me while I was pumping gas, and he was like, yo, man, I could respect you, Con. I could tell your mother and your father raised you right. Older black dude too. I was like, look, whatever it was, he saw about me. I appreciate stuff like that. But you know what he realized about me? I'm pumping gas. I'm filling up gas tanks that was in the back. I got like power washers and equipment back there. And I guess it's just the way that I'm moving. The way that I'm moving. I'm staying tasked. I'm staying busy. And respectfully to people like that, he's doing his job because he's not envious or jealousy, to give praise to his brother when he see his brother out there, or young brother, doing what he know is civilized, what he's supposed to be doing. So shout out to those people who take out the time to encourage your community as well. That time is very important as well. These jewels I'm dropping right now, yeah, I might be on our little ride on the way to work, right? But somehow I could be turning on the radio right now, like, oh, it's just me. Selfish life of living, right? Or I could be like, I could marinate thoughts as I drive, speak to you all about it, on how I perceive things and how I feel like certain patterns in the world works, because I'm a person who can see those things. I've always been a person that can see those things. And I haven't always been the kind of person who can even paint the picture out to you to where you can pretty much see the clear example for the most part of a lot of different things. And now that I'm older or whatever, I'm able to put things into a conclusion of the things in my perspective. So I feel like to some people that's help, to some people that's therapy, because we all in this shit together, and sometimes you just don't have enough room to say it at the particular time when you're going through. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's like a suppression of the things that you want to come out. So you want to say it. Sometimes you feel alone because you don't know how to get it out there. So you still feel alone because you're not able to put it out for people to feel you. But when there's somebody else speaking like that, the fact that you feeling that you're not alone in any of these circumstances, it's like therapy to some people, and it's comfortable, because that's also what we need. We need that therapy. We need that mental therapy, that verbal therapy, that spiritual therapy. You feel me? Sometimes it takes people who have been through these situations and have been experiencing and experience learning those lessons through failure, through success, but learning them lessons to be able to pass that knowledge on to the next person. Because even when you think that you might be wasting your time, you're edifying somebody somewhere. You feel me? Just by giving them real rap, even giving them your perspective of things. Everybody may not have the same perspective, but to those who can understand, they can follow suit. You feel me? This ain't all about following a lead of a person. Everybody is a leader in their own lives. Kings and queens out here, right? But there's things that we're going to pick up off of each other, period. I pick up off all the other people all the time. Clear example. I'm the owner of my company, right? Sometimes when we go out there and we build decks, I might hire a foreman, which is my boy for my company. The person on the job, right? The person of payment may still continue to respect me as the owner and everything like that. But when they see me asking this guy all the questions, and what do we do next? And what's this and what's that? And they see, like, they wonder why this guy got so much order on my job, right? And it's my business. Ain't I supposed to be acting like him? No, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing out here. That's why I hired him. So he comes, he does his job. As a foreman, you're a boss. You know what your job is, right? You got to tell people what to do next. So if I'm another worker, I just became from the owner to just a worker. You don't think he's telling me what to do? You don't think I'm following suit, my nigga? That's what I'm saying. So sometimes, just because you the boss, that don't mean that you ain't never supposed to listen to nobody. You can't pick up off anybody else, because it does work that way, my nigga. Trust me. And I get banked when I do shit like this. You want to elevate new levels? Well, you got to put other people on. And you got to work with other people that may be above you in certain areas. And it's cool. They're never going to dim your light. If anything, they're going to cause you to shine that much greater. I seen it, man. I seen it. I wasn't afraid of them little niggas that was hustling all crazy, got a good name and everything like that. I'm not afraid to put them on, thinking that they're going to become competition for me. 3 years down the line, they become one of the most faithful people. And how much you done bread it off them, right? Excuse me for talking about that, right? But I'm just saying, in almost every aspect, these are the things that, the way these things can work out for you, right? So, back to adjusting your life to being responsible with your time, right? Because time is very important. It's going to become very effective in this time. Because sometimes you have a short period of time where it's just a season of blessings. And how much can you eat, right? If you come in with a teaspoon, a tablespoon, a big pot spoon, what are you coming with, right? Because the supper is there. And how well can you feed yourself? You're going to have to start spending that time. So develop yourself to be a person who understands how to organize themselves and not get sidetracked by their own personal things that they have already been attached to in their own lives, allowing other people to distract you and take you off of your course, because you need this time. Most of the time, you need the time to think. Me thinking, as I'm driving, as I'm speaking, I still think of other things, because we all on play. I'm not on here talking about the football game or the basketball game, or, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about how to be prosperous in this lifestyle. And I'm not just wasting my thoughts to myself. I'm speaking to others. So we could do this together. You know, and it's just something that you may be able to elaborate on that I ain't speak on. Boom, the comment section is wide open. And we're going to share that. We're going to eat on that together. You feel me? But that's what I feel like I'm here for. I'm here for stuff like that. Because I do know how to help people when it comes to organizing themselves so they can be able to walk into their prosperity. Everybody want to blame God all the time, but you got to look at your life and say, well, dang, do I, myself, actually stay consistent to my goals? Do I actually put in what it actually take? Don't think that you could just go run a Vistaprint, get 500 business cards, start up a business. You think got 500 business cards going to do something. You got to put 500 out to get the 1 or 2 customers. All 500. Then what you going to do? You going to live off that? You're not going to build anything with that. You're going to have to come out with 10,000 postcards, and that's going to force you to work right there. And you're going to see how much it takes to build up for success. You can't come with this rinky-dink idea, small-minded. You can't come to the scale small-minded. So you got to realize that everything you do that's going to become action is going to require your time as well. Your time is money. So when you put in that time, you may have to put in a little bit of funds towards it, which is investment. It's a sacrifice. Why? Because you got to pay gas money. You got to get around, put these little advertisements out, these signs, whatever it is. Get some yard signs. Order up 100 of them joints. Put whatever the hell you want on there. What do you do for a living? You put that on there in the phone number. You ain't got to go into talking about a whole bunch of stuff. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, straight to the point. Make them call for what you do. That's it. You go out there, you put the joints out, and you sit back, and then you watch your life turn around, dog. You watch it turn around. Or you can spend 8 hours in the day working for somebody else and pay $100 for the day. Or you can set yourself up to have weeks worth of bread rolling in because you spend 8 hours a day advertising, putting thousands of advertisements out, right? So every single job that come in is going to be like your 2-week paycheck or a week paycheck. My nigga, y'all wasting time. It's real things you got to get to out here. And sitting and relying on this system ain't going to be enough. So now is the time that you recognize and realize, well, if you're not doing your own thing at this particular time, it's not bad. Because if you just got a job, that's great. Because you have a source of income, a backbone to help you finance these investments. Because that's what it's going to be for you. But you're going to still have to work towards those investments. Before you go get a second job, you best invest. No second jobs, man. What we doing? You're giving away now way too much of your energy and your life force. Where you could have done something so smart, became successful. You'd rather give them another 10 years than taking all of it and say, all right, now I'm required to live the system that they only got out here for me when you know they ain't paying enough. Right? All right, then. So it's time to start thinking on a successful scale and realizing when you go out for these endeavors, setting these businesses, these investments, it's going to require your time. You're going to have to be disciplined. And in order to put in that much work, you're going to need energy. This energy is going to take time too. To take time away from you. They either give it to you or take it away. Go out there and do those little frivolous things that you like to do. Smoking a bunch, drinking a bunch. Before you know it, your spirit, not only your spirit is weak, your mentality is weak. Your energy is low. Even if you drink too much coffee in the day, you're going to have a crash. Now it's depleting more of that time out of your day because you're tired now. Eating habits are going to have to be corrected. Proper amount of water, fasting, all these things that's going to help your energy is going to help you put in the extra time to get in that extra. But if you want more, you got to do more. Like the Bible says, too much is given, much is required, right? Why? Because you asked for a lot. Then you got a lot, but you thought it just came with that, and now you could just sit back. No, you got to maintain that. I don't care if you got rich and you won the lottery and you was able to just afford a Lamborghini. That's all you ever wanted was a Lamborghini. And you had just the amount of money. Would you buy it? You can't afford the oil change on it. Is your lifestyle set up to maintain that thing? The insurance. Can you afford insurance on it? Because if you can't, then it ain't no reason in setting yourself up for certain things that you know are out of your reach. Because now you're wasting time. So understand those things as well. Because you don't want to be going out, scout out to do certain things that are literally like far out. Like literally impossible. So start small. And don't despise small beginnings like the Bible says as well. So if you don't have anything, don't let that dissuade you from your great beginning. Because your great beginning may be a small beginning. If you take an increment and you make another increment, you take those increments and you make a portion. And you take those portions and they become halves and equation. It becomes a percentage and stuff like that. So, you know, that's also going to take time too. So having that time, putting in the time, is going to require patience, because nothing's going to happen overnight. This is required from you, so you learn that it's a lifestyle. So you don't think you're just doing this and you're going to get away with something. You get the reward now. You're just going to sit back and lollygag again. Nah. It's going to make sure you know what this lifestyle all about. So before you get what you get from it, it's going to make you put in just that much time, just to show you how much you're going to have to be required to be able to keep it. All right. So yeah, till next time, man. It's your boy Dr. Illuminati. Good talk to y'all. Peace. One love.